All right, guys, welcome back. Sooner Storm Podcast, week number 13 on tap. Bama, Bama week. Bama coming to Norman this week. Guys,
I
not
mean,
I'm kind of not a lot of good things to say, Obviously, we've struggled this season. And another really good quality opponent coming in this week. Obviously, very dangerous offensively, very stifling on the defensive side of the ball. Going to be really, really tough to get anything going against them. Not saying we can't, but just saying it's going to be really tough, like it has been all year. Um, but it they're just a good team. That's all you can really say about them. They're a good team. They
yeah,
won a lot, and
I
even with a
mean,
new.
Alabama has shown that they're I'm gonna say they're human.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they've
At
played they've
times this
played some
year,
games. They've
at
played
times
some
this year.
games that were close, tough, and I mean, up until these last couple weeks, I looked at them like kind of like that 2017 Oklahoma Sooners team where they would put up the points, but they were giving up a lot of points. Well, the unfortunate part about our situation here is that I don't think we're going to be able to put up enough points to match them here.
Optimism.
I mean, no, yeah,
Optimism.
optimism. Uh, but we'll go ahead
Yeah.
and we'll jump right into it, and just talk about, you
Yeah.
know, the expectations this week, what we want to see, right?
Yeah.
I'd like
Yeah.
to see some defensive turnovers, man. I just
We're
put
desperate
us
for them.
if we can get some, force some turnovers on defense, and give our offense a chance to just chip away, get three, sneak seven in when you can. That's what we're gonna have to do,
Yeah.
because
Unfortunately,
driving the whole field, uh, it's shown to be tough. We did it the first half against Ole Miss. Apparently, it was near to impossible to do it against Missouri. Still don't understand that, um, but I mean, it's gonna be a battle.
Oh yeah.
unfortunately, with our offense, our defense has to turn the ball over or has to get a turnover three times before we score.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to double up on turnovers, uh, unless our offense can, do something.
Find something.
Yeah, and
Uh,
it
I
just
want
hasn't
to
been there this year.
make a
go.
shout out real quick. Um, Xavier Robinson performed really well against Missouri, or
Oh yeah.
we had a bye week, but he performed really
It's
well.
that,
I
yeah.
would be really disappointed if
Uh,
I didn't see him get, you know, that many
well,
touches this week.
he
I don't
better get
expect him.
he better get a lot of touches if he's burning his red shirt for this.
Oh,
Burn.
100%.
He's burning the red shirt. So I look at him to
100%.
get. I'm not saying he'll be the starting back, but I look for him to get.
No,
It depends on it. It depends on if Barnes will go or
yeah,
not.
if Barnes is healthy, and I expect him to be, I think what his injury was, he just rolled that ankle and it just
Yeah.
didn't heal
Mhm.
quick enough to be, back by Missouri. I mean, the ankle should be
That
fine by now.
You think that would have made a difference in that game?
Um, I don't know. We were really limited. The run game really didn't get started up until Xavier Robinson finally
Yeah.
started getting more snaps. We didn't utilize the run game a whole lot in the beginning
Well,
of the game.
and I think that shows. I mean, Robinson, he's good, obviously, but like he's the biggest back that we got, and
Yeah, and he
I
runs
think that's
hard.
what we need is like a big back to run the
Mhm.
ball. I mean, you look at it all throughout the SEC and really any good running back out there, like they're just built bigger, you know.
Yeah.
I look at it like this, and it's kind of like that 1-2 punch. This is what I'm hoping for in the future. That 1-2 punch, Mixon P Ryan, whereas this is going to be Robinson
Yeah. And then
Tatum.
yeah. Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping for. Because Tatum is that type of back that's
Mhm.
more suited into that Joe Mixon. He doesn't have quite the size just yet. I
Well,
mean, he is a true
also
freshman. but his speed, his agility, um, to make people miss, that's where he fits into that category. Whereas
Mhm.
Xavier Robinson, true freshman,
Hmm.
he puts on more sides. There are a lot of similarities there.
You know, we haven't got to see him any this year because he was hurt coming right out of high school. But Andy Bass is another guy
Oh,
that
Andy Bass is a
I'm really
beast.
kind of excited about seeing. Uh, he's not the huge name that Tatum was or anything like that, but the dude can fly and he's
Hmm.
huge. I mean, lives in the
Not.
weight room. So I'm thinking eventually we're gonna get it together in the running backs. Uh, I think there's a lot of upside there. Same with the receivers, but I mean it's they're just a lot. There's a lot of really good young players,
Mhm.
and unfortunately, that's where we ended up this year. Is just a really young team,
Yeah.
despite some of our
Oh,
big players
incredibly
on
young.
defense.
Yeah,
But
really young. Yeah.
And
Uh,
go ahead, JB.
Kind of going back, well, to agree with what Lane said, really young, uh, on a
And a
lot,
young quarterback, man.
young quarterback, still young, and let's go, I don't want to talk about the Missouri game, but I'm going to talk about the Missouri game.
I don't even, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to go back to it because I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, but that game, early on, just for how our offense has played this year, that's the kind of game that it needed to kind of be, in my opinion. Low scoring. Our defense was, playing really well at the beginning of the game, keeping us kind of in it, or not even keeping us in it. They were the reason that we were, winning at halftime, in my opinion. But
100%. Yeah.
yeah, so that was a good game up to that point, and then um, second half turns around, and again, I don't think that the second half came and the defense played terribly. They played pretty decent.
Gave up
Uh,
two big plays, and
yeah, and
that's
you go back and you look at those two big plays. I mean, the first one on the completion to Burton, I believe, or whatever his name is, the safety slips and falls down.
yeah,
They're in a two high
Jacoby.
look, I
Yeah,
think, or maybe cover three. I don't remember, but the safety falls down, and he's not able to get over there and cover the route. On the touchdown, you've got, Bowen, who he played it perfectly. He was
he
right on.
did. He's just
It's
unfortunately
just that
he's a little
he's
bit
just a little guy,
smaller.
he
He's a little
just
bit
got
smaller.
outmatched by the guy, that was catching the ball. Anyway, offensively, like you said, I think that until Xavier Robinson kind of came in the game, we didn't really establish the run. Haven't established it all year. Obviously, linemen haven't been very good.
Became a very one-dimensional
Yeah. Oh
offense,
yeah, very
and
one-dimensional. And
wasn't.
when you don't have any of your targets and you're trying to become a one dimension or you become a one-dimensional offense.
Yeah, I think Farouk was probably 60%.
Yeah.
Definitely
And
not close to
no,
100.
no. And
Uh,
neither was Burks
uh
apparently.
you know that things are not good when
is
you're
Burks gonna be
calling,
back?
I don't know.
I mean, good grief.
You know things are bad when you're calling jet sweeps to the tight end. That's when
Yeah, didn't quite
uh
understand that
yeah,
play
I don't
call.
get it either. Anyway, I mean, like I said, I didn't want to spend a lot of time on it, but
No, let's
the
not.
I will
two
say,
the two the turnovers early is what
Yeah,
really,
I
and
think
obviously the one at the end of the game, but
yeah, obviously that's kind of where we lost the game, but a really important part, really important play, I guess, in the game was when Missouri was trying to drive the ball back down the field when we were up. That touchdown, I think there was less than 2 minutes at that point,
a
and
minute 40.
yeah,
yeah, and there was a defensive hold by Woody Washington, which looking at the replay,
it it was
very ticky-tacky
bad.
call. I mean,
It was
like
very
that. I
iffy.
mean.
And that
Could've
was that
went, I
was
guess it could have went either way,
It
what
was
but
iffy,
that
but
was fourth down.
road game. Yeah, it was a
I
fourth
believe it was
down.
fourth
Yeah,
down.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
road game. I mean, yeah. I
yeah.
mean,
So that kind of sucks. I mean, how that call goes our way and
yeah,
I would
yeah,
assume the game would
we
likely
win
be
we win the game.
over. I don't know.
Yeah,
and
no,
you know,
at that point we get that call and or we don't get that call, I guess.
yeah.
And yeah, the game's over, uh but they say football's a game of inches, so
Oh yeah,
we reached a little bit too far.
and a lot of people will look at it and go, why didn't we just sit on the ball and just take it to overtime? I mean, what was there, like a minute and
Yeah.
minute and 20 seconds. I mean, a lot of people ask that question. I mean, like I said, I don't get paid the big bucks, so I don't know. I mean, I've never had
I
to
mean,
answer
if you're
that, but I
thinking about
mean,
it though,
yeah, I mean,
Schmidt just hit, I mean, in the
yeah,
first
you're
half,
not, yeah, you don't,
he hit a 60-yard
yeah.
field goal.
So
So at
if
that
you,
point,
yeah,
you're thinking, let's
mhm,
just get him close and see what we can do here.
yeah,
And I think that's probably what the thought process was because
yeah,
he was hot. He had a hot leg, and I think they were probably just wanting to get
Yeah.
it
yeah.
close to the 50, see if he could.
Well, you could see at the beginning of the game, BV was going to take every shot, every chance he could. Obviously, the fake
Yeah,
punt should, if anybody but Bauer Sharp was the one running with the ball, it would have already been a
Yeah.
touchdown. Slow as
Yeah.
molasses. But I mean,
he
you can
did
just
hurt
kind
him
of see at the
bad.
Unfortunately,
beginning, you know,
unfortunately, we talked about being one dimensional. The pass from the punter and the pass from our running back
were
were
the
the
two.
two longest
Yeah,
passes
Oh
they've thrown.
yeah,
yeah.
That's so crazy, but I
It's
mean,
insane.
it's
Well, it's just another game in this season
yeah.
that, I mean, it could have gone either way and it just didn't fall our way. But, like we said, we'll move on. We've got Bama this week. They're very talented, obviously. Bama's been the gold standard. They've been the gold standard of college football over the past, and they're kind of, taking a step down. Georgia kind of took that spot over the last, couple of
But
years.
not much though.
No,
You
no,
know,
they
we've
still they reload. They're kind of like, they're just kind of like the New England Patriots, to me. Like the coach was always the same, and they always just found a way to just replace guys that they lost with either, the same caliber player or even the better player, and even with DeBoer now, man, they've got some freaking good players. I mean, it's a good team. The culture obviously is way different than when Saban was there. A lot more flashy, I think. Not so much like business like, I think, kind of deal, but
yeah,
still a very, dangerous team.
yeah.
You
It's
know,
gonna be it's gonna be a tough game. The
it's gonna be
only
tough.
thing yeah, if I can take away one thing from the game, if we come away with a loss, obviously everybody's hoping to come away with a win, right?
Yeah,
I
but
mean that yeah, of course.
but I don't think anybody has super high expectations just because of the way this season's gone.
No,
I'm not trying to, you know, be down on us, but that's just the way the season's gone. So
I'm just hoping to see some offensive efficiency. If we can see some offensive efficiency and the
I just
defense
want to
doing
play
their
them.
part, that's all I could
Yeah.
ask for.
Did you know Venables in his coach's show every week that he does? He said it was yesterday. He alluded to the fact that our defense in FBS football has played more snaps than anybody in the country this year.
Oh, I
Yeah, and it wasn't a surprising stat at
yeah.
all. I mean, that's just crazy. Like we played more defensive snaps than anybody in the entire country. There's how many teams in FBS football? There's 130 something of them or
that's
whatever. I mean,
crazy because
it's insane.
last year I felt like our offense was always putting our defense on the field.
And
Just
this year,
because,
yeah,
yeah, but
it's
now it's
now
even worse.
you're like, man, I'd go back to last year a little bit
Yeah,
more.
of course.
Uh, so
Well,
Bama opens up as a 13 and a half favorite, or they opened up as a 14. It's 13 and a half now, so it's dropped a half a point.
Yeah,
Yeah, 6:30 ABC, Herb Street
in
and
Norman.
Fowler in Norman. Herb Street and Fowler on the
Oh, it's
call.
Herb Street Fowler?
It is Herb Street and Fowler, so it's prime
Really?
time under the lights. Uh, obviously the last
we're gonna
last two
hear it the
guys were.
whole game.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm that thrilled about that.
Yeah, well, I saw it and I was kind of like, oh, great, now,
What are
Unfortunately,
we
we
getting
also
Herb Street
have
Fowler next week too?
against who? Oh, against
LSU?
LSU. I don't know. It depends on how this week goes and how LSU does this week, but um, just some numbers to throw around, because I always throw numbers around. Jalen Milroe, he's accounted for 15 of their passing touchdowns this year, obviously, thrown for 2,003 or 2,232 yards. Uh, he's also their top rusher,
Yeah, I mean
606
he's gonna be a
yards,
problem.
120 carries, 608, and 17 rushing touchdowns for that
Good
young.
grief.
Oh, he's a dog.
has Arnold, has he passed for even 1,000? I mean, that's pretty
Arnold has.
stout.
He's thrown for 1,243 and 12 touchdowns. So, and then Ryan Williams, I believe he's a freshman, if I'm
Yeah, he's going to be an
he's a
absolute
freshman.
problem.
He's 40 receptions for 767 yards, 8 touchdowns. That man, I'm telling
Yeah.
you, he's a dude.
He's going to be an absolute problem. I mean,
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
JB,
the
imagine your team having to play him because he should be in high school right now.
That's why, I couldn't imagine being a college coach. I can't imagine being a NFL coach today. Like, you play somebody, say like the Chiefs, and you're like, okay, well, we gotta, and I'm not being biased, but I mean, like, well, you got Pat playing quarterback, you got a Trevor Kelsey over here, you got to cover, now you got to cover DeAndre Hopkins also, and you got to cover freaking Xavier Worthy. I mean, in college, it's kind of becoming the same deal. Like all these teams are just so stacked, and um, it's just like, man, what do you give up? To
Yeah, unfortunately,
yeah,
our defense is pretty stout, but
they are. They are.
the soft spots on the defense, unfortunately, are the D-backs, the corners. I mean, that just is what it is. I mean, you have Eli
Oh yeah,
Bowen playing as a true freshman, and
we
he's
got a
done a
lot of.
terrific
Oh, he's
job.
done a great job. He
He's
just
done a great
undersized a
job.
little bit, and
Yeah.
And we've got a lot of young talent there that either hasn't got to play
yeah,
just a little bit. And that's fine. We're gonna grow in that in those positions, but I think we'll be fine there. Honestly, all around in defense, I think we're gonna be just fine. It's
yeah. I'm not worried about defense.
Yeah,
still
It's
I
gonna
mean,
be it's gonna be an off season where the offense is gonna really have to be
and guys, this is off topic, but I expect us. I mean, the University of Oklahoma. Uh, I expect us to reload pretty heavy in the portal this offseason. Um, I seen Gabe Eichert and Teddy Lehman talk today. They're like, don't go get 20 guys from the portal. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants to just revamp the team.
yeah,
Go get me, go get me 7 dogs and pay whatever we gotta
yeah.
pay to get them in here.
Hmm.
yeah.
Go get 7 dogs.
Preferably a couple of them be some
Dude,
pretty stout offensive
Offensive
linemen over
linemen.
mine,
Yeah, give me 5 of them. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh,
five,
you know,
five, and two receivers, and we will be stacked.
well, just think about it. I mean, Burks is a junior. Hopefully, I would say that he comes back. He hadn't played half the season. He's got,
We've got a ton of talent in the wide receiver room
yeah,
if they just
and
stay healthy.
if they stay healthy, so
I
Burks
mean, there's
should
a
be
ton of
back.
talent there.
Obviously, you've got,
Nick Anderson.
And
Anderson is coming back. JJ Hester's done, decent.
I wouldn't be surprised
Ben
if
Thompson.
I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of the young guys take a step above these guys eventually. Like I think there's some guys there that could
Yeah,
probably do
especially
that.
Zion Kearney.
They've
Yeah,
Um,
definitely got
exactly.
enough guys where there could be a really good, rotation for sure. Like,
is it Zion Ragans?
yeah, Reagan's, yeah, he's a,
Reagans?
Yeah,
yeah.
He
he's the
reminds
middle
me.
guy, but I mean,
Uh,
put a little bit more pounds on him, he'll be fine.
Yeah,
and
he reminds me a
Jason
lot of Hollywood
Jordan,
Brown.
or what was his name? Jordan, Jacob Jordan.
Oh yeah, Jacob Jordan. I mean, hey,
Yeah,
kid played really
Yes.
good.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, guys, to kind of shift topics, there's a lot of buzz right now. Obviously, who's going to be the offensive coordinator moving into next season? Are we going to get him here pretty soon? There's a
Mhm.
lot of
I
there's
would
a
say
lot
the
of
sooner
talk
the
on
better, but
yeah, there's a lot of talk on Dan Mullen and the offensive coordinator from Washington State, Arbuckle.
right.
Yeah,
Um,
Ben Arbuckle.
yeah, he actually he graduated high school in 2014, which is insane.
Dude,
Uh,
he's younger
but
than I am. That's
yeah,
crazy.
he gives glimmers of kind of that Lincoln Riley offense. Um, when we went and got Lincoln Riley from East Carolina, that's the kind of offense that, he shows. And he's got a good quarterback at Washington State.
Hmm.
I've watched a lot of highlights. I can't even remember what the kid's name is, but the kid's good. It'd
We're
be
What happens if I mean, this is off topic also, but I've been waiting and waiting and waiting years. I mean, even Kyler wasn't Baker, you know. I loved Kyler, but he wasn't Baker. And I
Yeah.
loved Jalen Hurts, but he wasn't Baker. Uh and Caleb Williams, I
Was
mean, that
Caleb
whole
Williams.
season he was Caleb Williams, but he wasn't Baker. When are we gonna have
He was a true freshman
when are we
also.
gonna have a guy like Baker come through and be willing to like lay it all on the line for his guys? I mean, and be really good at,
Just
still.
an absolute dog.
Yeah, an absolute dog. When are we gonna have that again? When are we gonna feel like a fan base? When are we gonna feel that again?
I
Because
will. I'm going to
and
throw
I've been
this
waiting
out
on it.
there. I'm going to throw this out there.
No, there's
Be
never going to be
there will
another
never
Baker
be
Mayfield.
another Baker Mayfield.
No.
That's just
He's
And
one of one.
we can
I,
only
I
One of
hope
try to
we get
one.
explain.
somebody that's close or
Yeah.
in the
And
same
that's
ballpark,
what
you
makes you
know.
appreciate him even more,
Oh
man.
man, he's a dog. He's a competitor.
But well,
But
the reason I say that is because I've been watching some highlights of the young kid that's gonna come in next year, Kevin Sperry. Dude looks pretty good, honestly. I
No,
mean,
he is good.
he's pretty good, and I think he's a kind of a sleeper, honestly. I think that
No,
a lot of
we
people are
gotta.
sleeping on him, so
Yeah,
I
I
don't
mean
know.
the quarterback room. Unfortunately, the position that we're in right now. I don't want to take too much of the time, but we're we got a young quarterback right now, and he's not completely confident in himself, and which rightfully so. I mean, he hasn't been given a ton of opportunity to kind of get comfortable because this whole time, we're struggling offensive line, and I mean, how can you get comfortable as a young quarterback in that type of setting? It's really hard,
hmm,
but the depth that's coming at the quarterback level, um, you know, I still think I mean, if Hawkins hangs around, I think if he develops, he's going to
yeah,
be great.
I just
yeah,
look
he
at
did develop.
I just look at Arnold right now, and maybe it's just because he's had a bad year, but I just watch him and I don't see that factor that Baker had, or even Kyler was a little bit quiet. I still don't see it in Arnold.
Well, those guys are. I mean,
And
nobody's
Hey,
going to be
like
I
Kyler
mean,
Murray either.
obviously we went through so many guys and they're all starting in the NFL right now, which I get, but like
Dylan Gabriel's number one in the nation.
they
yeah,
just don't have that it factor. And as much as I love Dylan Gabriel, I never saw like what I saw in those three guys either. So,
I Dylan Gabriel did have an it factor though.
but he's I love Dylan Gabriel. I hope he does great. I hope he gets drafted, honestly. And I hope he goes to a good team. So, uh, but we'll
you
see.
know,
There's a lot of questions up in the
a lot
air
of
right
questions.
now that I
Yeah,
mean we're never going to be able to answer.
no.
Um,
The
and
back to the OC for a second. I won't take a lot of time, but Mullen, Dan Mullen. Ever since I heard his name even linked to the conversation, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about Dan Mullen.
I mean his offensive.
His
I've seen a
offensive,
stat.
yeah.
He
I mean,
averaged about 35 points a game in the SEC from the time that he started, either as an
which I mean,
OC slash head
he coached
coach.
Dak. He coached Dak at Mississippi State when they
Yeah,
were number one in the country and scoring a lot, and they beat
Uh,
Alabama and they beat, you know,
Here's the deal. We just need somebody in there that can have a good offense, not even a great offense. It just needs to be good.
it doesn't have to be a big name.
No, just needs
that's
to
what I'm
be
saying.
good.
A guy like a Ben Arbuckle, who no one really even, I mean, he's a young dude. He was the youngest hire in 2023, youngest coordinator hire ever.
But
You
it's an
know,
absolute gamble.
it's a gamble, but at this point,
But
we're,
you look at him and you might get a few good years before like before another team comes calling for him to be a head coach. So
His name has been thrown around a lot. Dan Mullen's name has been thrown around a lot. There are
I've
other
heard
names that,
I've heard things about Dan Mullen.
you know,
Unfortunately,
He's basically said
unfortunately,
he's not
the
gonna go be an OC. Like it better be head coach or nothing, basically.
yeah, I mean,
yeah,
I think Dan Mullen, I think that he likes what he's doing now on ESPN, unless he's
I
going to
would.
I don't
come
blame
out of
him.
that
I'd like him too.
oh yeah, for sure. Anyway, a lot of unsolved, untapped questions. There's a game on Saturday. It's going to be a tough game, but hopefully we can find something, offensively to
I
help out
just
our.
want to see. I want to see that these
Uh,
guys aren't checked out.
I don't think they are. They're not. They're not. Uh, it just, like I said, this is what we signed up for. We knew this is what we were getting into. We had some talent. We have not had a bunch of our talent for half of our season. I know
Yeah,
I'm not trying to throw excuses around for that, but
I
I
still
it,
don't
mean
think
it's
it
the
would have
truth.
it's
made. It's still the offensive line for me that.
it is the O line. It is the O line for sure.
I I
You
was
know,
talking with a
But I will
buddy at work.
say, even with the O line and with as bad as they've been, our receivers still haven't been able to get separation, and that's that's another big issue. So
I was talking with a buddy at work today, and I was telling him, and I just being honest, Texas has a soft schedule. For the SEC, that is. I was saying, if we're playing that schedule, we're probably a three-loss team right now.
I don't know, man.
to be
You don't
honest
think
with you,
so?
I don't know. Be honest with you, I don't. I watched the Arkansas Texas game the other day. I don't. I mean,
We couldn't beat Arkansas at this point.
I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying like
I don't want to say it,
I watch
but
Texas and I'm like Texas. They can beat anybody they play, and I hate to say that, but I mean they're built for the SEC. They're a good team. I mean,
they unfortunately, I'm gonna talk about them. The way their offense is run, I mean, I guess because they are so good up front, it just makes it look so easy. They
oh
are
yeah,
It does.
there's always an open
Quinn
guy.
Ewers is just chilling back there.
Yeah, there's always an open guy. He's always got
And
forever.
the thing
Gunnar
is,
Helm is always running
it
down the
looks like it's
seam.
in slow motion, and
I
I
don't,
mean to that I'm like, good
and
for them.
here's
But
the deal. I think their offensive line is so good that it makes Quinn Ewers look great because I don't think he's a great
I
quarterback.
think Arch Manning is better than him, but
Oh yeah.
by a lot.
you
it's just
see what
it
happens
is what
when
it
they
is.
line up against a team like Georgia or
Yeah.
uh, a few
I
other
mean,
that have been
Georgia's
able to
defense,
match
man,
them.
is
That a few teams that have been able
Georgia.
to match them up front,
Yeah.
and even playing us there for a little while until I mean our defense was on the field the whole time, but there for a little while, I mean we were doing just fine
Mhm.
because we were able to match them up front defensively, but obviously offensively we couldn't. So.
Yeah. Well, guys, we got on here and we discussed a little bit about the Missouri game, how disappointing of a game it was for us to lose the way we did in the end. Alabama, tough opponent coming in. It'll be rough to get
at least
something.
we got him at home, right?
We got them at home. Nothing. You never know what'll happen. You
Under the
you show
lights.
up and
Well,
you give everything you got, and uh,
hopefully, hopefully, if any recruits come, they'll just take in the atmosphere and not so much the game.
I don't think Fasusi's going to be there.
I'm I'm
Yeah,
I'm
yep,
optimistic.
that's what I've seen, and unfortunately, that does not bode well for us.
Yeah.
I want to throw it off topic for just a second with the 8 minutes we've got left. Shout out real quick. I want to go to D2 football, and nobody around here probably listens or watches D2 football, but because I
Oh
watch
no, no,
South
no, no!
all
I
the
think I know
time.
what you're talking about.
I want to throw it out there. I want to shout out to the UCO Broncos. That's Broncos spelled Bronchos. first round of the D2 playoffs this week. They've got really good Ouachita Baptist Tigers team coming in. I watched Ouachita this year here in Durant. They're good. It'll be a good matchup. UCO obviously won the MIAA, which if you don't know anything about D2 football, that's one of the toughest D2 football conferences in this, part of the country. You've got,
Yeah.
North Missouri, Pitt State, and a bunch of other good
I'm
teams in
gonna I'm gonna shout out my alma mater. Uh, hey, NSU, man, NSU played a tough game
They
to
did.
UCO. UCO,
That was
they about
they
pulled it
about got
off.
him. They about
They
got
about
him.
got
And
them.
the
Yeah,
old
it's close.
Riverhawks. I mean, they
Go
Go River.
Riverhawks.
Hey, they got a new head coach. He's from California. Previously played in the NFL, coached at Colorado for a little spurt there. But his stint in California, I think he won a couple national championships down there. He's bringing it to the Qual.
Oh yeah. Anyway, I wanted to throw that out there. I'm rolling with the Chos, man. Go Chos. My man Jesse Harwell, the linebackers coach there at UCO. Go get him, man. I'm telling you, go get him.
why do I know
Uh,
his name?
Hey,
he's
big game this week.
big game.
Ohio State. Ohio State,
Indiana.
Indiana.
We'll see if Indiana
Big
really is for
noon.
real this week. We'll see if Indiana
Indiana.
is for real.
Currently, I think Ohio State's favored by 14.
Something like that. I don't know the exact number, but it's like around there probably. Uh, yeah, like I said, we'll figure out if Indiana really is for real or if, as pe a lot of people have said,
Well,
or
Signetti
they
just got
are.
a 8-year
Yeah,
contract.
yeah. Ohio State
Yeah.
13 and a half.
They locked him down quick.
They were
Oh yeah,
worried. Yeah.
yeah.
Should have been.
Um, it'd be a good game. It's at the shoe though, isn't it? It's at the shoe, is it not? Or is it at?
Hey, if Illinois or excuse me, if Indiana wins this,
Oh man,
um,
it's at the shoe. Yes.
I gotta have somebody to cheer for in the CFP,
Oh,
and
big time.
it's gonna be the
Yeah, go
Hoosiers.
with the Hoosiers, man. Go
Oh,
with
It's gonna be the
dude.
Hoosiers, and
Let's go Boise
I'm
State
gonna
with
or
I'm
Boise,
Genty.
Ashton Genty. Yeah,
yeah,
Ashton.
I'm hoping Boise State, and I'm hoping SMU squeezes in.
I like me some SMU. I'm
I
telling
like
you,
SMU.
I watch them. They're a good team. They do a lot of good. I watched BYU. My gosh, I watched the Kansas game last week. BYU and
It's
Kansas,
gonna
and
it's gonna be exciting. The college football playoff, the way that they're doing it this
it's
year,
made it really exciting.
it's gonna be exciting. I wish
It,
that we were involved.
it
We need to
makes it
start this.
exciting to me, like because how it used to, when this first came out and it was only the four teams, like one loss and you were done, you were out of it. Now it's like,
Yeah,
well, you got one loss, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're done. It just means that your road to it's going to be a little bit harder, than
yeah,
uh,
man, it's gonna be electric. I wish OU was gonna get to be in it this year, but we're not. It's okay.
Hey, we're
Um,
fighting for bowl eligibility, man.
yeah,
We're trying to get to the Liberty Bowl or the Music City Bowl,
heck yeah, baby.
Man, yeah. Don't know if
that
that's
is
gonna
what
happen, but hey, I'm hoping.
come on, Lane, optimism. That's been my
I'm
word this
trying to be,
entire
man. I'm
time. Be
trying to be.
optimistic.
First round is December 20th, 21st.
Yep, it's early. They got to get them all in. I'm telling you, it's
Nice.
gonna be awesome.
And then Connor, we're gonna be oh no. It's just gonna be bowl games when we're gone. But yeah.
Dang it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
December 31st is the Fiesta Bowl quarterfinals.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then the first and ninth, all the way through the 20th. So
Dang, man. Let's go. Wouldn't it kind of, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be happy if Dylan Gabriel I mean if he wins it all, I'll be happy for him.
Hey,
But
listen,
gosh, is that gonna hurt a little bit?
hey,
I'll be
listen,
honest.
I'm telling you, man, Dan Lanning I love Dan Lanning.
listen,
He's a dude. He is a straight running dude. I mean, he called a timeout at Michigan when they were killing Michigan at the big house. He called a timeout and he pointed up to the bleachers so all his players could look and see all the Michigan fans leaving the stadium. Like that's the kind of freaking head
Yeah,
coach.
that's the kind of
I
coach,
love it.
man.
I love it, man.
yeah,
I'm
he's
telling
That's
pretty
a
you.
cool.
dog.
He's
That's
a
a
guy. I
dog.
love it. Well, guys, we've got about two. I'm on my screen. I don't know what y'all say. We got about 2:45 left. So, if there's nothing else, we can go ahead and sign it off if you like or whatever.
Well, just quick recap. I'm hoping to see some big games or, a lot of improvement from the offense. Hoping to see Xavier Robinson get some touches. And then just, hoping to see the defense, do what they do and do it at a high level this week.
Yep.
Obviously, it gets really challenging when you're on the field so much, but we're only going to get so much of Danny Stutzman in the Crimson and Cream. So,
Was the
uh,
last one in Norman for him.
yeah,
So
man,
Yeah.
look for those seniors this week, man, to really lay it all out there. Last
100%.
game in the Palace. They're going to lay it out
Danny
there. And
Stutzman, highest graded linebacker for stopping the run. So
Mhm.
Yeah,
We'll see.
we're 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 going to see him on Sundays.
It'll be interesting. Real quick, shout out. I don't know if anybody watched Coach V's interview the other day. Shout out to his wife who is
Yeah,
back battling breast cancer again. So shout out to Coach's wife, Julie. Shout out to her. Hope she's doing well and that everything with her goes well. Uh, and I just wanted to throw that out there because
absolutely.
Sooner
Yeah,
Nation should be thinking about her. But guys, I mean, OU Bama, it can't get any bigger than that in
yeah,
a
it's going
regular
to be a big
season
game.
game. This isn't the Sugar Bowl. This isn't the Orange Bowl. This is just a
hey,
regular season. I
Dude,
they
I
mean,
wish
announced
I could go to
that
the locker room and just let's go.
they announced that game at LSU is going to be a night game also. So
it is.
6:30
It is.
kickoff,
Yep,
we got
6:30.
two
Death Valley.
primetime games back to back. Just trying to make the
Well,
best of
guys,
it.
Yeah,
uh, if you're watching this and you know somebody that you think would like watching us talk about nonsense and football or whatever, then like and subscribe. Maybe recommend it to a buddy or whoever.
send it to your grandma.
Send it to your grandma, your
She
grandpa,
won't.
your
She'll
uncle.
think we're the big deal.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
But let's sign it off, guys.
All right, Boomer.
Boomer.
And let's go.
Oh,
Did you end it?
it did.